The difference that has made in being able to get our message across is phenomenal. From us having to have 3 or 4 meetings to explain what we do, we've been able to cut that down into an hour. I've done a lot of courses over the years and been mentored by a lot of different people. And I would say in the last 20 years, this course, this community, and what we are learning and like today is the best that I've ever done. I've grown more in the last 12 months than what I would say through my whole career. My name is Colin Cooper, and I have a company called Cybersmarters. It's a social and emotional learning platform teaching children how to be safe online, aged between 5 and 12, for creating better digital citizenships. We don't get taught this at school, and the big tech companies don't teach it either, so we are. My key role is helping with building the relationships with government departments and schools, so on the higher level. So where are we heading? So for example, we just launched into Turkey, and we are approaching that we'll have 11 million kids on by the end of next year. We've currently got 1 million children on. So the focus is that there's a lot of moving parts to that type of expansion. So my role is to kind of keep all those parts together, moving while we're operating in different countries. So we're now in Turkey, Australia, New Zealand, India, and the US. And we've got a few other countries that we're looking at the moment. So I saw David's Death by PowerPoint TED Talk. My background for the last 20 years was in business and scaling businesses, but with the use of behavioral science and neurochemicals. So when I saw David's talk, Death by PowerPoint, and then I started to read some of the other things that David was talking about, from my point of view, it just slotted into, okay, this makes perfect sense and I understand it. I'm one of those guilty ones where I've committed death by PowerPoint. So when I saw that, and I've done a range of other trainings with other people on speaking and how to present, but David put it in such a way that, for me personally, it was life-changing. It just clarified, okay, what to do, what not to do. And it changed how I presented since then. And when the course came about, I jumped on it. So Presenter Mastery has 100% helped with the communication of being able to scale the company, because we're going into multiple different countries and cultures are different. As I said at the start, my background has been in dealing with scaling of companies through human behaviour and neuroscience, which is why the course is such a great fit, which is why I love it. But one of the things that I think has always lacked is how especially going into other countries that are maybe non-English speaking, is how we've been able to get our messaging across. Previously, we would have had long sales documents, or the presentations would have been very text heavy. What this has allowed us to do is to be able to reposition the way that we communicate with people, especially in a digital environment. So we've gone from presenting the information just in a slide to now doing full interactive presentations. So standing up on Zoom, we've got the whiteboard. The PowerPoint is just a tool now instead of it being the whole presentation. And one of the things which resonated with me is that the presentation is you, the presenter, and all of these other things that you're communicating with the tools. So like PowerPoint and whiteboards and so forth. The difference that has made in being able to get our message across is phenomenal. From us having to have 3 or 4 meetings to explain what we do, which might be 1 or 2 hours long, we've been able to cut that down into an hour. We've got 4 key markets that we communicate at, and one of the hardest ones is at government level, but we've been able to communicate what we're able to do in those 4 key markets very easily. It's removed a lot of friction, a lot of confusion, and shortcutted our success being able to get into these other countries. We're now in talks with multiple other countries like Saudi Arabia, Croatia. This being on the back of being able to do better communication. The main reason why I joined on to Presenter Mastery was I lost my confidence. Before COVID hit, I used to do a lot of workshops, I used to do a lot of presentations. And then We got stranded in the UK. I was originally from the UK, but I was operating in Australia for about 18 years. We came back because we had a sick family member, and we then got stranded here and when locked in the UK when lockdowns happened. And I found that my communication skills I really struggled with, especially then in person. I looked to try and do some presentations, some virtual presentations, but something had changed and I couldn't quite pinpoint it, but I would get nervous. I would find every excuse actually under the sun not to do it. And so I was at a crossroads of, do I continue to go down into that hole, or do I try and look for someone to help me with it? And David's story regarding on how he hacked his depression and how he was able to turn his life around really resonated with me. For me personally, it was, I was in a very similar situation and position. So that's the main reason for doing it, and it has been truly life-changing. The main things which I would say is different is the delivery method. Having the course material, I think, is one. Secondly, the community is huge. The benefit that you get from the community combined with the course material is outstanding, and others have done that, but the community that we have is a very safe environment for people to grow and learn. I was very nervous when I went on the first course. Started doing it, and then we went on to the live calls. But everyone was welcoming, everyone was supportive. So by having the combination of the course material, the community, the live calls, the live feedback, just nothing competes or compares with that. I've done a lot of courses over the years and been mentored by a lot of different people. And I would say in the last 20 years, this course, this community, and what we are learning and like today is the best that I've ever done. I've grown more in the last 12 months than what I would say through my whole career. Once I was in for the first few weeks and then started to get a rhythm, the rest of the skills started to flow into place and put into place. Those first 2 weeks were critical of doing the onboarding call, being part of the community, getting stuck into the calls. It's quite daunting when you first get into it, but once you're in and you're in with the community, that goes away because you realize, okay, it's okay to fail, and then you just start chipping away at the different skill sets. I think the biggest shift and change for me is that it's helping me be and making me a better human being. I'm a better father. Story time is now interactive, so it's not just reading a book, acting out what's happening on the page, and my kids love it. It's allowed me to communicate with my team much better, so we've seen a much better flow, and I used to pride myself on good communication prior, but it's just leveled completely up now to what it was before. So with our team, communication, family life, there's everything. It's a better partner, better friend. It's strange, like I was saying just before, that we should be teaching this at school. I think everyone needs to learn better communication skills because it is truly life-changing. So anyone that's looking or thinking of doing it and they're sitting on the edge, they need to just jump in and give it a go. I sat on the edge for a while, and my biggest regret was not doing it sooner. But in a sentence, I would turn around and say that the whole Presenter Mastery community is a family. It's a family that will pick you up when you're down and support you and genuinely want to see you grow. And that's rare. That is really rare. And what I like about this is that, yes, you should be showing up every day and you need to practice every day because that's how you grow, but life can get in the way. And whether you're away for a week or you're away for a month or a few months, you can just slot right back in. You've got the live training, you've got all the pre-recorded stuff, and it's like you've never left, and people just welcome you back. It's not even a question of, hey, why haven't you been here? It's like, hey, welcome back, and it's great to see your face. And that is, you can't put a price on that, you know, to have that type of comfort, to be able to go, okay, you know what? It's been away, life's been busy, but I know when I go back, you know, I can help pick it up. And you can then put your frustrations or concerns or things that you're struggling with into the community, and people just flock to help you. It's something which I've never experienced before in lots of the different programs that which I've done, and that's what really sets it apart, and that's why I'd recommend it.